I'd like to give just a little basic idea about what in a larger sense is called semantics. We use words all the time, and there are basically two kinds of words. One, it's a word that talks about something concrete. This is a watch. We can touch it, feel it, and so forth. Look at it, see it. There are other terms that are called abstract terms, and those are terms like Democrat, Republican ideas, or communism, republicanism, democracy, love. Those are all words that are abstract. They're only in our heads. They're a symbol for something that is only in our heads. But the problem is that we don't get that term communicated to somebody else. For example, the term communism. In the 1950s, there was a guy named Joe McCarthy, Senator Joe McCarthy, and he was on a witch hunt for communists. And I don't know if anybody, I don't know that he ever, I don't remember him ever defining what a communist was, other than communists were bad people. And many people lost their jobs and their reputations, especially people in Hollywood, simply because they were labeled a communist. Nobody ever said Joe McCarthy defined communism. And that's one of the things that I think we all need to be aware of those abstract terms. Because for example, if you look up love, and anybody who thinks they're in love or is going to get married or something, they need to talk with their partner about what do you believe, what does love mean to you? Because it can mean anything from an overnight tryst to somebody saying, I want a lifelong relationship. And if those two things, if those two definitions of love are from two different people who are planning to get together, you can expect some problems, if not sooner, certainly later. So another illustration, I think, that I remember, there were two kids, I forget where it was, and I heard they were in a deep argument, and they were getting really angry. And one got so angry that he was trying to think of the worst thing that he could call this other kid. And he said, you Democrat. So and somebody had asked him what a Democrat was. He just knew, he probably heard at home that a Democrat was the worst people in the world. And so that's what he called him. So I guess what I'm saying is that if you're talking to someone, keep in mind that if this is one of these abstract words, it's not something you can touch, feel, and so forth, it's not a concrete, then you should feel obligated to define that word for that person. And to give an example, you might also then look up what's called an operational definition. You describe what a person does to describe that. In other words, you would describe what a person would do if they were acting democratically, or you would describe what they were doing if they were acting like a communist. And the other way around, if somebody's using a term that is abstract, then feel comfortable in asking them to give a definition of it, and to maybe give a couple of examples of it. And if you want to ask, well, how does it work? How to give an operational definition, that would be also. But the thing is that, and that's the whole idea of semantics, that you're trying to define words and get the meaning out of words and make sure that they get passed from the speaker to the hearer. And the biggest problem is that we often are using words until we stop and think about it, that we really don't even have a good definition